Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Good.
Okay.
I am substituting for Carol today. So she's visiting her son in another state. So that's exciting for them because they haven't seen them for a long, long time. So, because I only had a couple papers, I couldn't look back in the book what you guys have been discussing. What is this?
The United
what?
Nations.
The United Nations. Okay, very good. So, what can you tell me? Do you know anything about the United Nations that you can tell me since I haven't been here? Okay.
Sometimes they'll fight each other.
True, they do. Do they get along sometimes?
Yeah, maybe every once in a while.
Every once in a while, okay. Okay, so that's kind of the way it is. There's bad news because they want all these things. They don't want hunger, they don't want wars, but they can never agree. So there's always those things. But
if they get, the only way they'll really do wars anymore is if they start getting into the discussion of land.
okay. So there's also good things that, you know what, God has a plan.
I know.
What is God's plan?
To die on the cross, and he already did that.
Okay.
To heaven, he already did that. And be our Savior, and he already did that.
Okay, and what's going to happen next?
He's gonna. Everyone who dies goes up to heaven.
Okay, everyone who dies who?
Trusted in Jesus.
Yes, that trust in Jesus. Very
and
good.
baptized still.
Okay, so, and also, that's God's big plan is for Jesus to come back, and we won't have sin and hunger and wars and sadness. But another thing that he is in his plan is that he uses regular people like us to imperfect people that sin sometimes, but he still uses them. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But I'm really excited because this whole lesson is about faith.
I know because it's on our pages.
What?
It's on our papers.
It's on your papers. Well, can anybody tell me the meaning of faith? Alistair? I'll get to you then, Christopher.
Like to trust and
Okay.
God, Jesus says.
Okay, Christopher?
It's not about trust, but sometimes one with the paper, instead of two, they put a one.
Oh, okay. In your Sunday school papers.
Yeah, and then I
Okay.
texted it off and then I just remembered it.
Okay, Willow?
To trust in somebody and that you can believe in someone.
Okay. So it's complete trust. So that's a little difference. I can trust that. I don't know. Can't think of a thing right now. I just had a brain freeze. But anyways, okay.
I can trust you in bringing a toy to school.
Okay. Is it a guarantee that I'm going to do that?
No.
No. But is
You
it
can believe him.
what?
You can believe him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a female. I can bring toys to my school.
You can.
Me
Cool.
Me too.
Okay. All right. So our Bible story today is in the book of Hebrews, and our lesson is called the Hall of Faith. So we're going to watch that then, and we're going to talk about faith then and see what we can come up with. Okay, so our big picture question is, what is the gospel? What do you think the gospel is?
I know how to read it.
What?
I know how to read it.
She knows how to read it.
Read it. Okay. Okay. What is the gospel? Can you read it?
The gospel is the good news that God sent his
Son.
son Jesus into the world to rescue sinners.
Okay, good job. Very good. Now, since I haven't been here, you're going to have to help me out here as we review. The first one, the gospel is for all people. Does anybody remember what that was about? But I agree, the gospel is for all people. The good news of Jesus is for all people. Alistair?
That was about whenever Peter saw all these different keeping crazy animals.
Okay. Okay. Next one is Barnabas went to Antioch to encourage believers. You know anything about that one? Okay. Alistair?
So, it took a long time.
Okay. Okay. Then we had, last week you had, Jesus, our great high priest, brought a better covenant. Do you know what that one was about?
No.
No? Okay.
Now I'm here.
You weren't here. Okay.
For me.
Okay. Okay, well this week it is God works mightily through people who have faith in him. There's that word faith again. Okay, so we are going to listen to our Bible story and see what they tell us today.
The writer of Hebrews explained that faith is being sure that what we hope for will actually happen. Faith is obeying God because we trust him. By faith, we believe that God created everything from nothing just by speaking. Many people in the Bible had faith, and this pleased God. Abel had faith when he gave an offering to God, and God accepted his offering. We must have faith in order to please God. By faith, we believe that he exists and that he rewards those who trust in him. Noah had faith too. He obeyed God by building an ark to rescue his family. Noah warned other people because he trusted that God was telling the truth when he said a flood was coming. God was pleased with Noah. Abraham had faith when God called him to leave his home. Abraham did not know where he was going, but he obeyed God. God made promises to Abraham, and Abraham believed that God was going to keep his promises. Abraham's wife, Sarah, had faith. She trusted God to give her a family even though she was too old to have children. Sarah was 90 and Abraham was 100 when they had their son Isaac. Abraham and Sarah went on to have many descendants. God gave them a family as numerous as the stars in the sky. Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, and Moses had faith. Rahab had faith when she hid the Israelite spies in Jericho. King David had faith too. All of these people trusted God, and so did many others. Having faith was not easy. Many of these faithful people suffered, and they all died before God's great promise, the arrival of Jesus, came true. But they believed that God had a wonderful plan. God was pleased with them because they trusted him. God kept his promise to send the Messiah, his own son, Jesus, to rescue people from sin. Jesus is the true hero of the Bible. He gives us faith. We can look to him because in him, all of God's promises will come true.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about faith. Christopher, do you have something to say?
Because you know the ones that died?
Mm-hmm.
They go up to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of already could believe, they had a better feel of what it was going to be like before Jesus even came.
Okay.
So
So yeah,
technically
they
they
believe-
actually saw the action happen.
they believed without seeing Jesus. Think about that.
They technically even saw Jesus when they were in heaven.
Okay. 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 So we're talking about faith. Are listening to our lesson, can you come up with more definitions of faith than complete trust? You know of anything that was said there that might be? Willow?
Offerings, like believing in Jesus with no.
No, go ahead and say what you were going to say.
I thought you said something different.
Hmm?
I thought you said something different.
Oh, okay. Alistair?
And Noah had trust whenever he built the ark without even knowing, not even could barely even believe it was whenever there's never even a single drop of rain in that place.
There you go, jumping ahead and telling what I was going to talk about. Good job. Okay, let's talk about faith now. It's being not only trusting, but it's being sure that what we hope for will happen. Okay? It's obeying God because we know in our heart that He exists. He's not some mystical character, not some cartoon character. We believe in God, okay? And we believe that God created the earth by just speaking, just like that.
Water and sun.
Mm-hmm.
Rise now.
Right? God said, let there be birds, and there was birds. He didn't have to form them out of clay and breathe into them, and He just spoke, and we must believe that. Okay, Christopher.
Remember, but he did make the first people out of mud and milk.
He did. You're right. After I said that, I was like, oh, maybe no one will pick up on that, but good job. Okay, now when we talk about that God's made the world by just speaking, now a lot of people don't believe that.
Like, well, what if I had, like, they would try to do like God did and say, let there be something there.
Okay, but what you guys have to, and even at your age, you have to be careful what you hear and see about God's creation, about the dinosaurs, about Noah's Ark and the flood. You got to be careful. You got to be careful that it's true and it's based on the Bible, okay? Because a lot of books and a lot of TV shows and a lot of things you see on the internet are not really true. So you have to, if you have a question, Alistair, let me talk. If you have a question, you need to say, when you hear dinosaurs lived millions of years ago.
That is true.
No, it's not. But that's what everybody wants you to say because they want to say that there was a whole world before God even made the world. And that's not true. Put your hand down, Alistair. And so there is proof that how many years ago there were dinosaurs on earth with the people, okay? And there was dinosaurs on the ark. And you know what happened to the dinosaurs?
What?
They got instinct.
They got extinct. They died.
Because they didn't have enough food, because people were cutting down trees and
you see these fossils and these bones and stuff? They are bones from the dinosaurs and all the other animals that died during the flood. Because God only took how many?
2 of each kind.
2 of each kind and then some others to eat. Okay? So, you got to remember that what you hear and read and see isn't always true. But the dinosaurs is a really big thing that's going around right now. And most of it, even your kids' books, most of them are wrong. If you hear they were millions of years ago, that's not right. Okay? Christopher.
I read a book from here, and they said maybe they still actually, they think they made, Jesus made dinosaurs, with all of the,
All the other animals.
yeah.
You're right. They did. They were just made at the same time as cats and dogs and cows and horses. Alistair?
Well, how I know that some of these facts about the Noah's Ark,
Yeah?
I read the Noah's Ark story more than once.
Okay, good job. Okay.
Actually,
SJ.
that's my favorite story.
I wasn't born when the dinosaurs were in here.
No.
But no one was born.
Well, no, there were. Adam and Eve were born, and probably some of their sons and
Noah.
daughters. Alistair, please. I'm talking, okay? So, yeah. There was people here when the dinosaurs were on Earth. And you know what? At first, the dinosaurs didn't eat meat. And you hear all these, like these giant, big, gigantic dinosaurs that's as big as this building. Some were probably only this big. Okay? And before sin, everybody ate leaves and grass and that kind of stuff.
You know,
Okay, Christopher?
that I've seen a show, before they, but I forget what it's called, but they look up, they find fossils and stuff from dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
They have a whole collection of.
Mm-hmm. And the fossils?
I seen like one like that long.
Okay. The fossils were made after the flood because the water was all over the earth and these animals died. And when they died, they laid there and they were pressed, and they made fossils. So, okay, now.
They jumped into the water.
They jumped into the water. Okay. Yep. They didn't have a chance because the water just came. The rain just came. And like Alistair said, there was no rain before that. So think of the faith that Noah had to have to build that ark when it was like, what, God? What do you mean it's going to, what's rain? Okay, so he had faith that God was in control, and that's the kind of faith that we have to have. What?
Jesus shut them in,
Mm-hmm.
and then guess what?
What?
Jesus spoke to him and said, you don't have to get out. The flood will just pick you up right off the ground and move you.
Yep, and that's what happened.
Yep.
Okay, so we talked about some of these people, and I understand, I don't know if you all have this picture in your papers,
Yep.
but we talked about Abel. Abel was Adam and Eve's son who gave an offering and God accepted it. And then we have the story of Noah that we've really, and the faith that he had. We had talk about Abraham and Sarah. They left their home when God told them to. They had faith that God was directing them in the right way. And then they had faith even though they were too old. But God had said they were going to have a son. And they had faith that was going to happen.
Excuse me. I went to a tree, and when the dinosaurs didn't actually get flooded, I think because I looked near the tree. Oh, I thought a T-Rex ate a Brachiosaurus there, so I dig there and I didn't see any fossils.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you guys just remember that there was dinosaurs. They were on the earth at the same time as those people. They died. And there we have other species of animals that they became extinct and died. Okay? And just because they died and aren't here now doesn't mean they were created millions of years ago. Okay, Christopher? You forget? Okay, we are out of time. And that is okay, because I think what we talked about today was very important for you to understand. So, all these people had faith, and they called them, that chapter is called the Hall of Fame, because they were normal people, just like you and me. And they had the faith to listen to what God said, even when it didn't make any sense to them. So, okay. So that's it for today. I'm glad we got together and we got to talk about dinosaurs and the faith that we have in Jesus. So let's all stand and let's just pray, okay? Dear Father, dear God, we just love you so much. We have faith in you, believe that you know what's best, and that if we have enough faith and listen to you and obey you, we will be with you in the new heaven where there will be no sin and no sickness and no pain, no hunger. So just help us to remember this. Help us to have faith in you. Help us to believe the Bible and not what we might hear on the TV or the internet or in books. Look at the Bible because it is perfect. Help us to remember that, Lord. And help us, use us, so that we can do amazing things for you too. Now, I just thank you for all the children that are here today. It's just been great to have a full group. And I just pray that they all come back next Sunday, which is Easter Sunday, and we'll be celebrating Jesus rising from the dead. And that is such an important part of our Bible stories, of our timeline for the whole Bible. We just thank you for all these things, Lord. Amen. All right, see ya.